Okay, well, welcome to the event. Enhance employee experience in Microsoft 365. We really appreciate the time you're spending with us today, and we hope you find it beneficial. If you'd like to move the slide on, please. Uh, I'm Ian Lohman, and I work for Adepteq, and I'm responsible for our relationships, both with our clients and with our partners. So I look after everything Microsoft 365 within our organization. Our most important relationship, of course, is with Microsoft. And as a gold partner in cloud productivity, we cover what Microsoft terms modern work, which effectively is everything relating to Microsoft 365. We've worked within the limitations of modern SharePoint, which works for many of our requirements for our clients, but often we need to create additional functionality when required, which is often quite costly for them and unrepeatable. When we discovered Mosaic, we saw the value they offered with the toolkit they provide to enhance SharePoint, so are now offering this suite to our clients. Today, we are introducing Mosaic, who are rapidly expanding through Europe and are now partnering with Adepteq to deliver Mosaic solutions in the UK. So if you'd like to move on again, we'll just go through the agenda. So first of all, we're going to talk a bit about the challenges of the digital workplace, overcoming those limitations of SharePoint and Microsoft Teams, which tools to use to revolutionize that employee experience, then quick demonstrations of both Mosaic 365 and Moda, which is a Teams-based product, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end. Now, if you look on the side, there's a chat button. If you look on the chat, we've already put in there the fact that our webinar is going to be recorded, and we'll send out a link to you after the presentation, so you'll have that to refer back to. And we'll be taking questions through there, which we'll then answer for you at the end of the event. I'm very pleased now to be handing over to Knut, Microsoft MVP. So he will be delivering the next section of the webinar. Over to you, Knut.
Thank you, Ian. And I hope you can hear me fine. Yeah, all good, perfect. Yeah, so Knut is my name. I've been working with intranets for like 15 years, delivering it with different type of third-party products on the top, and I'm glad that I'm now part of the Mosaic 365 team and helping organizations kind of achieve more with the Mosaic 365 solution on top of the Microsoft products. Please follow me on LinkedIn if you have questions also after the webinar. Feel free to reach out to me. And the next slide, please. Yeah, so the big question here is, of course, why do so many companies use SharePoint as their intranet? First of all, we should look into like the 500 Fortune companies, like from those 500 Fortune companies, there are like 80% of them that is using SharePoint as their intranet, and that's a really, really big amount. And the reason behind a lot of these organizations choose SharePoint as their intranet is that it is 100% integrated into Microsoft 365. Because anyways, you have the license and you have the beneficial of the license, so it makes a lot of sense to use it. It's also a really, really great platform to build on top of, because SharePoint supports most of the content publishing needs that is in any kind of organization. You can create news, you can create articles, you can create a different type of pages. It has the different type of UI options and layout options. So the basic content publishing requirements you will have in SharePoint. Besides that, you have also really, really good document management and, of course, sharing of documents, because everybody works with different type of documents in their day-to-day business, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, of course. And also we have to mention that, of course, everybody with COVID and past COVID and during COVID, and right now we are working a lot in Teams. We have a lot of meetings inside of Teams. And of course, the storage platform of Microsoft Teams is also SharePoint. So that is also part of the reason why it makes a lot of sense to build the intranet on top of SharePoint. Microsoft invests heavily also into the platform. They have high level of enterprise security. And of course, there are certain things that you can also personalize inside of SharePoint, and you can also do some sort of targeting, but it has a lot of limitations. So we will get back to that a little bit later. Last but not least, we need also, of course, to mention that Microsoft integrates really, really well with the Viva platform that Microsoft talked about all the last previous 2 years when it comes to Viva connections and the possibility to bring your intranet in SharePoint into Microsoft Teams. So these are some of the reasons why a lot of organizations are using SharePoint as the intranet. Of course, we have also to think besides are there any size that fits better when it comes to having a SharePoint-based intranet or not? I will say no. But when it comes to putting a third-party product on top, then maybe the question will be yes. But anyways, I think it's a really good platform to have as the foundation because it's just there and everyone can use it internally in the organization anyways. Next slide, please. Yeah. So when it comes to intranet options in SharePoint, there are a few alternatives. You can use SharePoint out of the box without any changes. What you will get then is a few layout options. You will get a few branding options, but then you have to sit and create all the pages. You have to create all the sites. You have to create all the navigation manually. Of course, if you have internal persons that knows SharePoint and internal persons that has done this before in either your company or another company, then of course it can be quite easy and you will manage to set up a pretty decent and good internet in that way. But there are also other options. For instance, you can have what is called like an intranet in a box product. That is what Mosaic is all about, because it's a ready-to-go product from a third-party vendor where it's more like a plug-and-play functionality. Like you get something on top and you don't need to kind of customize things. You don't need to develop things. It's just ready to use with a lot more features than what comes out of the box from Microsoft. You can also do a custom intranet or an in-house intranet, but we're not going to focus on those two today, but we're going to focus on the intranet in a box product. So with SharePoint as a out-of-the-box option, because we're going to address that first, there are also possible to create nice-looking sites. It's possible to go into the lookbook of Microsoft SharePoint. We will put the link in the chat, so you can also go and take a look at that one. There are a lot of different design options that comes from Microsoft, but there are also a lot of boundaries. There's a lot of limitations that comes with that. But if you click the next slide, we can take a look at a couple of examples that I have put into here. So this is typically how a kind of out-of-the-box intranet in SharePoint will look like, because you will have the news on the top. You will have a few web parts with news or with kind of like a how to call it, like a timer, like that, a countdown timer, and these kind of things. So there are a lot of possibilities into this. And the next one, and here you see this is an alternative design. So here it's putting some more news on the top that has been pinned. But again, most of the out-of-the-box SharePoint intranets are really focusing on news and the news delivery. And also one thing that I want to address is that it is a limited amount of widgets or web parts, whatever you want to call them, available from Microsoft. So typically we see a lot of limitations with what is coming out of the box, because there are just a selected few to choose from. And with all the different intranets that have been delivering the last 15 years, there's always been, we need this, we need that, we need this type of functionality, we need that kind of functionality, and that has always been not being able to do with out-of-the-box SharePoint, which led us to do either custom development or we need to choose a third-party product for the same.